In meditation, we learn to observe our emotions and sensations without attaching to them, allowing them to control us, and conversely, without suppressing and pushing them away. Sometimes, however, the emotion is so strong that I find writing to be a great meditation companion. Often when a strong emotion is sparked from our incessant thinking, we fall victim to the emotion and we allow it to control us. We're slaves to that emotion, so many times not even realizing the hold that it has over us until it's too late. At this point, we usually either do one of the following. One is we feel the negative emotion of like anger, jealousy, greed, fear, whatever it might be, and we push it away. We stuff it deep down because we think we shouldn't be feeling this way. We don't want to feel pain, so we suppress it and as not to harm ourselves or others, right? So often as adults, our anger or sadness arises, especially if it's from something we want, but we suppress it because we know we can't pout and stomp our feet like little children. Anger arises when attachment doesn't get what it wants. So we suppress the emotion of anger and sadness so we can act like adults. We're very silly in this rationale of suppression. Even children suppress such emotions because they know they can't stay angry or sad forever. They stuff down emotions and then they move on to the next distraction. This isn't skillful in any way, and it causes more pain in other forms. The second thing we do, if we don't suppress the emotion, is we engage in it. For example, when anger arises in us, we say or do things under the influence of anger, either to ourselves or others, that we usually regret. An emotion such as anger is very convincing. It's masterful at making us feel self-centered. After all, it's a response from the brain to protect the individual separate self. Sometimes anger will keep us ignorantly thinking that we did the right thing, and this sense of self-righteousness can last for days, weeks, or years after we did it, even if we harmed another person. When anger or any afflictive emotion arises, it becomes our master. We're the slaves to follow its every order. It's a tricky thing because we relate to the anger as who we are, when in fact, it's just a passing storm that it kind of hijacked us for a moment. So writing helps us to stop and learn to create responses in life that skillfully create positive results as opposed to unconscious reactions, which create a lot of negative results in our lives often. A powerful emotion such as anger can stick with us for a lifetime, and it often creates destruction, mostly to our own self. Internally and externally. When we sit with our pen and pad, we can write out how we feel, and then we don't have to suppress the feeling, and we also don't have to follow the delusion outside of our pads. Allow yourself to get juicy. Often curses and heavy writing ensue, but don't judge the anger or afflictive emotion, whatever it might be. Just allow it to express itself as it will. You can shred this up right after you write it. It's not about keeping a journal. It's about getting it out of your unconscious mind where it stirs and creates more destruction. It's like if you captured a storm in your house, it wreaks havoc until you let it out. But you don't want to let it out into your neighbor's house. You just want it to go back into the natural elements, releasing it to the sky. This is analogous to what we're doing here in writing. Don't fight the delusional mind and don't engage in it. Just write it out until it passes through you. Although I found that meditation is helpful right after I write, it isn't necessary right after writing. It would be good, however, to meditate within 24 hours of writing. Meditation, it teaches us to let go. And with the writing, we'll be learning to let go of the storm, not hold on to it. Like all things, it must pass, but we tend to want to hold on to the storm because someplace in our brain we feel it's protecting us from some threatening external force. We don't need anger to stand up for ourselves. We don't need jealousy to keep a lover. We don't need greed to become wealthy, yet we believe we do on some level. And so we allow afflictive emotions to control us time and again. This is a key factor in becoming the master of our brains, as opposed to allowing the brain to rule us and be our master. The brain is a super valuable organ, and when utilized correctly, it can be our greatest ally. We often carry suppressed pain, sadness, and anger from our lives. We can make a list of past and present issues and use these for our writing. Some examples could be worry about the outcome of a project or a relationship, anxiousness, anger, or sadness toward a situation concerning ourselves or another person from our past or present, guilt on its many levels, and so much more. Make your list. Don't hold back. I found that the one thing we avoid most writing about on that list is usually the one we should start with. You might find in time that you lighten up, anxieties begin to lessen because a lot of our anxiety is caused by our suppressed emotions. You might even see physical pains begin to disappear because suppressed emotions often manifest as physical pain as well. Look, this isn't by any means a substitute for seeking medical attention or therapy when needed. It is, however, a valuable tool to use in your everyday life that can transform your physical and mental disposition and relationships with others in wonderful ways. I'm so grateful that you're watching my video right now, and I'm hoping that you're going to go on to watch so many more. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can find out about the videos as soon as they launch. Press the like button and leave a comment, and let's keep inspiring and helping each other on this journey together.